Hey everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. So, I really didn't want to make this video, but I feel like I have to. So, I watched Amber F's video and X Sparkage, Leisha's videos on this, and I 100% agree with them. However, I feel like I kind of have a different perspective on it from being vegan because I know they're not. So, if you haven't heard, basically what's going on is that on Instagram a while back, it's like probably a week ago at this point, maybe 2 weeks by the time you watch this, but Kat Von D basically, somebody commented on one of her pictures and were like, hey, have you looked into vaccines because they're not vegan? And she was like, oh, of course, we're not going to vaccinate our child. I mean, that's not exactly what she said, but that's basically what she said. And so, based on this research that she did, she's not going to vaccinate her baby, which should be none of our business, like what she does with her child. However, she has a huge social media following. A lot of people look up to her, and for her to promote something like that, I can't support it. Even though I am vegan, and yes, vaccines are not vegan because they have to just anything in the medical industry, basically medication, vaccines, all that kind of stuff is tested on animals. That's unavoidable for the most part. I mean, now the technology is coming along, and there are alternatives coming up now, but a lot of vaccines have been around for decades, and they were tested on animals then because they didn't have the technology to test on humans or like synthetic things. So there is a fine line between not wanting to harm animals and also doing something for the greater benefit of humanity. So, like, if we don't have vaccines and we all die of communicable diseases, that's just bizarre to me. So, and it's unacceptable because there are so many people who cannot get vaccinated because of immune diseases and like babies, there's certain vaccines that you can't have until you're older because your body can't handle it. So if, say, somebody's is not vaccinated and they come in contact with the disease, they may not get it, but they could transfer it to someone like a baby or a small child or even an elderly person, middle-aged person, somebody my age, whatever, that can't get vaccinated for whatever reason. There is a great video on this if you want to hear about the vegan side of it. It's from this channel called Bite Size Vegan. She hasn't posted in a really long time, and I really wish she would, but she did so much extensive research on vaccines and their relate to veganism, and I would definitely recommend watching that if you want a more educated response to this. Well, she made that a long time ago, though, so it's like before all this drama with Kat Von D. And I totally get, Kat Von D was talking about wanting like a water birth and having a midwife instead of going to the hospital, whatever. That's all fine. Like, you can have a baby without a doctor or a hospital. People have been doing that for centuries. But technology has developed vaccines to prevent these diseases that like completely wiped out portions of our population so that we don't have to deal with that anymore. So, and I know personally I've been to a third world country where they don't have access to vaccines, and I've seen what happens because of that, because they don't have access to it. Like, there's diseases that are totally gone in the United States because of vaccines that are still rampant in the developing world, and there are a lot of people who travel back and forth, so I had to get a lot of more vaccines just to go there, so I didn't bring them back to the US. Which is a really scary thought, but I'm also kind of interested in that kind of thing. I don't know. Not like doing, but you know what I mean, like the science of it and everything. So, yeah, so that's what I have to say about that part of it. Now, you're probably wondering, I wrote off Tarte and a few other brands so easily, and this one is no exception. I am not going to be supporting Kat Von D's brand anymore, which is a bummer. I was really excited for her shoe line. I was really excited for some of her new products to come out, and I can't, like, publicly, I cannot support someone being such a danger to society. That would be like somebody promoting I don't know, like not having safe sex or whatever. Like this just, I can't. So I have a few products from Kat Von D that I am going to just kind of use up, maybe off camera, maybe some on camera, but I'm going to tell you some alternatives that I found to these products too. So I'm just going to go through, I wrote them down on this card here. Most of them are lipsticks, which is going to be really hard to use up. We'll see how this goes. The first thing on my list is the Lock-It foundation. I have the shade Light 44 Cool, and this is a very full coverage foundation. And I really don't have any exact dupes for it in my collection, but the best thing that I have found as far as a vegan cruelty-free foundation is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. So this is what that looks like. And this one can be built up to full coverage, but I don't feel like I have to, but if you do, then you can mix this with another foundation or just use it by itself. And this one has a great shade range, just like the Kat Von D one does, which I do commend the brand for their shade range, but Wet n Wild did do a pretty good job with this particular foundation. However, their other complexion products are really lacking, so, but if you're looking for a cruelty-free vegan foundation, I would check out this one. I've not heard many people say they don't like it, so usually foundations are kind of like 50-50. Some people hate them, some people love them, but most I've seen love the Wet n Wild one. And the next thing I have is the Kat Von D powder foundation, and I have the shade Light 45 in this. I have not found a dupe for it yet, so, which is kind of a bummer. I've gone through a few of these. It's just a pretty, not a, like an intense full coverage foundation, but sometimes I use it on its own. I'll just put on like primer, and then I'll put on concealer under my eyes and on any spots, and then I'll put this on over top of it and call it done. You don't need to set it because it's obviously it's a powder, and then you can just move on. It's pretty quick. So if you know of any cruelty-free and vegan powder foundations from brands not owned by a parent company, I know that's like really strict. See, that's what kills me with this, is because Kat Von D was one of the frontrunner, like the best brands for people who are cruelty-free and vegan, because they're so accessible, at least in the US, and they have such a wide range of products. It's a diverse shade range, and their products perform well, but Kat, you just put a wrench in this whole thing. Then I have two shades of the Lock-It concealers. Have light 5 or L5 and L1. So L1 is way too light for me on its own, so I mix with L5, and I mix light one with other concealers too that are too dark. And these are really creamy. They do tend to crease, which I don't really have that much of a problem with. Like, as long as I fix them, like I put them on, set them, and then when they start to crease, I'll just like dab it with the Beauty Blender, and then it's fine for the rest of the day. Some people can't get away with that, so. But if you do like these, I would suggest to check out the ColourPop concealers. So these right here, I have the shades Fair 8 and Fair 4. I mean, these are like, these two shades are almost identical to me. I cannot tell any difference when I put them on. But the formula of these is pretty similar to the Kat Von D ones. And these are, I haven't worn makeup before today in like a month, so my makeup is like separated and everything. I just need to stir them up before I use them again. The ColourPop ones are a fraction of the price of the Kat Von D ones. And then I have the Lock-It loose translucent powder. I think this came in a few other shades too. It's okay. It's not like a groundbreaking powder. I've never had a loose powder that I'm like angels singing about, so yeah, I need to find an alternative for this. I have the Tarte one going because I was trying to use it up and I didn't get it finished in my last project pan, but this one, it's okay. Like, I don't know. I still need to find a dupe for it, but I have a lot of powders going already. One powder I would suggest though is, where did I put it? This Milani Prep Set and Glow powder. So this leaves such a natural finish. It does not leave you like super like matte and flat looking. It does have some dimension to it. And I looked really closely at it in the sun one day, and it does have like a reflective, but it's not shimmery if you put it on, like when you put it on. So it just gives a natural sheen, and I would definitely suggest this over the Kat Von D powder. And this next one is very old. It is the blush in Wish. I got this because of Samantha. I'm sure you're from YouTube, you know who she is. But this started the whole thing. Like, there's a running joke that everything she likes gets discontinued. And this was the first thing. So this is the orangish peach blush. It's really, really pigmented, and it's really super powdery. Like, you barely tap your brush into it, otherwise you get too much. I like the color effect on me, but I did find one that's similar-ish. And this one is pretty old too. It's the Milani Luminoso blush. So they're pretty much similar, except for the Luminoso is a little more on the pink side and the Wish is a little more on the orangey coral side. But I'm sure there are plenty of other blushes that are similar to Wish. And then this one I use as highlighter is the Metal Crush eyeshadow in Thunderstruck. So this is a white shimmery powder with a pink reflect to it. And I have found something that is kind of similar. It's in a different format. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Hello Halo highlighter in the shade Halo Graphic. So I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, the lighting is really bad outside. But this is a white reflective highlighter with a pink flash. So if you're into liquid highlighters and want to give it a try, I would suggest this one. Again, it's a fraction of the price and it's the same effect. And the next thing I have, I've had this for a long time. This is one of the oldest makeup products in my collection. It is these shadows right here. These were the Kat Von D Ladybird True Romance eyeshadow palette. So they're all mattes, and I did try to pan this, but I didn't get very far with it. So, yeah, I think by the end of this year, whatever I use up of it is great, but I'm not going to sweat over it. I'm just going to throw it away because they are getting a little old, and I don't want to have that old of things in my collection. I do like some of the colors, but I did find some similar ones, so I really liked this orange and this one from ColourPop. I forgot what it's called. Oh, I just dug my finger into that one. It is in the shade Top Notch, so it's really similar to the orange, and then the rest of the colors you can probably dupe with just about any other matte palette. This one hurts the most. It is the Saint Center palette. I obsessed over this. I haven't worn it in a long time though, just because I've had new stuff. And also the reason I didn't use it a lot was because my glitter glue wasn't vegan, so I needed a new one. I found a new one, but I just haven't worn makeup in a month, so I haven't gotten really to try it. So I really love this palette so much, but why'd you do this? So, yeah, I guess I'll be using this off camera and not on my Instagram, which is going to stink because I love all of these colors. I can't dupe these because they're all so unique. So, yeah, really sucks. And I thought about panning this, which is literally insane because there's so many colors in here. But, yeah, I've seen people that are trying to pan Kat Von D. There's actually two people, Amber F, like I mentioned earlier, and then Georgia Harris. She's trying to pan the Mi Vida Loca palette. I'm pretty sure Georgia Harris is, if I'm not mistaken. But they're both, just quit, I think. Well, Amber F wasn't sure, but you can tell that she really needed to because it was, making her uncomfortable. So, yeah, which is a real bummer. I kind of want to do, a Kat Von D project pan. But at the same time, I don't want to use all these products over and over again and then re-fall in love with them and not be able to buy them. So I don't know. Let me know if you think, I wouldn't have a problem with doing a project pan personally just to get them out of the way, and these are expensive products, so I would be okay with trying to pan them and get them out of my collection so that I have room for other stuff. So if you want to see that, let me know. If not, I'm not sure. Maybe I could depot that palette and put it in my... No, there's not enough room. My Z palette is pretty full. And I have all of these lipsticks from Kat Von D. So I have, this is the oldest one, I think. It is the Lovecraft lipstick. This is before they reformulated, like way before they reformulated it. I like it. I just, like when I first got it, I really liked it more, but now I didn't notice that it was more pink. Like this is the nude color that I love. It is Celebrity Skin by Jeffree Star. This is kind of what I thought it was, but then now that I've used it recently, it's more pink. So I don't know. And then I have Bow and Arrow, which is kind of similar to this color now that I think about it. This Bow and Arrow is a little more warm than Celebrity Skin. And then I have 4 of the minis. The 2 oldest ones are Lolita and Lolita 2. Lolita 2 is almost out. I'm like having to scrape the sides of it to get more product out. And then I have these 2 that I just got. The Wolf and Dagger shades. They're like a light gray and a dark gray. And the thing with these, normally you could probably use liquid lipstick up in a couple months, but the Kat Von D ones have so much product. So like these mini ones, they have as much product in one of these minis as other brands like full size liquid lipsticks have. So if you can imagine, there's twice as much almost in the full size. That's going to take forever. But I think Amber F did use one up, if I'm not mistaken. So there's actually more than twice the amount of product in the full size as there is in, so there's 3 milliliters in the mini ones and 6.6 in the big one. Alright. And then the last thing that I have is, where'd it go? The Saint perfume. So I haven't used much of it at all. I try to use it really sparingly because I liked it so much, but now I'm just probably going to try to use it up, honestly. So that's it for this video. Let me know your opinion in the comments. I normally try to stay away from these drama type of videos, but I feel like being online and making videos, you have to be conscious of what you're doing, what you're using. So I'm not going to be buying Kat Von D makeup anymore. I'll still use the stuff that I have just to not like throw it away and waste it, because a lot of it is beyond like trying to give away or get rid of to somebody else. So I'm just going to just suffer through it, I guess. I'm just kidding. But let me know what you think, and if you're going to be using Kat Von D still, or if you're going to stop using them like I have. And let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.